Hey, this is Jerry with AdventuresInHomebrewing.Beer, and I've got a new box here from the guys from Bouncer. You know that I've reviewed some of their things before, the Bouncer beer filter, the Mac Daddy Bouncer beer filter, also most recently the Boiled Bro, and they just sent me this box here, so I'm going to go ahead and crack it open. Sorry, this is being done one-handed, so if it's a little awkward, I'm just trying to show what's in the box here. Looks like I can pop this open yet. There we go. Oh, hey, we got something new from Bouncer. Mail days are always good days. Aha! So we have the Mac Daddy Hack Pack. Let's see. So we've got 3 packs of Tenacious Badger Hops, Cascade, Colombian Chinook. We've got a Mac Daddy Bouncer filter and the finer mesh screen there. Let's see, this says that we've got 2 reversible Bouncer koozies. Looks like some, yep, it says silicone tubing and hose barb adapters here. So, party in a box. I'm sure it's going to be a part of the box there. Let's see. Filtering, yep, we've done that before. You've seen those videos from me. So, it looks like I'm supposed to be doing some randalling with the Bouncer filter. Hook it right up to my taps and enjoy. And that doesn't look like the guys from Bouncer, so I'm wondering if that's either some buddies or the people from that Tenacious Badger Hops here. So let's see. Tenacious Badger Hops. Let's see, it's a Chinook, so well, it looks like we might have some nice alpha and beta acids on these. Oh, these are all looking like they're that's why it was taped on the back. Columbia, not Columbus as I thought it was. Interesting. I'll be curious to do a little research on that. And last one, Cascade, is 4.7. So it looks like we got 2 sets of hops that are on a higher alpha acid end, 10.5s, and then you've got your regular Cascade that runs in at 4.7, but the betas on that one are much higher. Interesting, looking at the oil content, you've got 1.2%, 1.4%, 1.6%. I think we'll have to chat with the guys at Tenacious Badger soon. So let's see. We've got the Bouncer Mac Daddy filter here, and you'll see inside there's connectors there that screw in to get to your different tubes. That's the thing I like about that, you know, you're not stuck with one particular type of tube for your siphon. You can kind of do some different work with it, and you've got the different mesh filter here. This is the finer one, so this is the one that they're suggesting that I randle with. And ooh, they really are double-sided. We've got the Bouncer logo on the inside. We got the Bouncer on the outside, so it looks like with it being reversible, you can see right through it, and you can just slide it on there. I actually kind of like that. Something a little bit different. Great way to put in the silicone tubing. So that should just clip right onto my tap and hook onto the Bouncer. So now that we've seen what's inside here, I'm gonna have to get some beer flowing that will be good for the randling in of infusing some different hops flavors, using some of this Tenacious Badger hops, and maybe some other things, I noticed on the picture. It looks like some coffee beans, hazelnut, might be a pepper in there, so some different things to think about with that. So this was the Mac Daddy Hack Pack. It's a party in a box. Hopefully it will be a hops explosion on my taste buds here once I filter some stuff in. So here we go. Hey, this is Jerry here from AdventuresInHomebrewing.Beer. I'm going to have some fun tonight. I've got the Bouncer Mac Daddy Hack Pack. I've already opened it earlier in this video. You saw the breakdown of how it was set up and everything. So for tonight, I've pulled out some of the Columbia hops from Tenacious Badger, and I'm going to hook up the Bouncer unit and some silicone tubing. What I'm going to do is I've got two beer glasses with me. I've got my kegerator over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to first pour a beer straight out in one glass. I'm going to use the 3 heads glass for that, and then what I'll do is I'll hook up the Bouncer MD and we'll hack it right on there, and we'll infuse in the Columbia hops for this tonight to go with this Tenacious Badger Columbia hops. I've got a nice pale ale. It's a golden color. It's made entirely with Comet hops, so it's got a nice grapefruit and kind of a piney, dank taste to it. So I was looking at this, the breakdown of this Columbia hops, and I was thinking that that would be a good choice with adding in some extra citrus to it, so I could really kind of get some nice breakdown of it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this this Mac Daddy here, and I'm going to throw in the 20 mesh screen and some of the Columbia hops, and let's see what we can do. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back here. I've gone through and I've added in the blue mesh screen, spritzed it out with a little sanitizer. I hooked up the connectors. I made sure that I was paying attention to which way that should be flowing. So I've got the silicone tubing hooked up to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give you a little aerial view here, so that way you can see me going through. I'm going to pour the first beer. Got a nice shot there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this back up here. I am going to take the silicone tubing and I'm going to attach that right on there. Move it right up. I'm going to take some of the Tenacious Badger Columbia hops. Oh, this smells wonderful. You can see some nice hops in there. Tenacious Badger's hops are really yummy looking. The smell, oh, it's great. It should give a nice piney add-on here. So I'm gonna take my Bouncer MD. We're gonna throw some hops right in there. Maybe not quite half here. I don't know. I've never done this before. I do remember seeing something about, you want to make sure you don't fill it up more than than halfway. I think that was from the guys at Bouncer itself. So we're gonna close it up. You really can't see the hops in there. It's that mesh screen is really it's really fine, but you can see the hops right in through there. So we've got that. So I'm going to stick us back up over to the aerial view here. And I'm going to do my best here to keep that as straight as possible. So I've been tasting here. So this one is the original beer made with just Comet hops. It's got like a citrusy where you're going to feel like a grapefruit rind. It's a very dank. This glass has the Columbia hops added to it, and going through, I noticed a brighter citrus flavor to it, more juice to it, less of the citrus rind. So it definitely, even just with that one quick little beer coming out. Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna grab one of these mason jars here, and now that this, you can see it's sat in there a little while. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour another one. I should have brought a third glass down for this, but I didn't think that far ahead. And look at that, lucky me, I get to drink a bunch of beer tonight. So we're filling up the mason jar now. So let's look at this here. So this beer was actually it was gone through, and I filtered it with the Bouncer. This is the first beer that came out from the Bouncer with the Tenacious Badger Columbia hops in there. This is another, after it sat there for a little while. Yeah, it's in a mason jar, going old school here. But you'll notice it's a clear beer. The only thing we're catching is some bubbles, nice carbonation level. So let's see what a couple minutes and sitting a little bit longer does for this. Oh, the difference here between the three. This is just really dank in comparison to this end. This the right off the top had the nice bright citrus tones to it. And then this just almost feels like a smoother beer. It's a completely different thing at this point as far as how it changed. It's kind of interesting. You get Dogfish and with their Randall unit going through, and they were the groundbreakers here. But now we've got the Mac Daddy Hack Pack that really allows you to do it at home. Super easy. I mean, when I'm done, I just pull the tube off and go through and clean it out. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of lost beer there, but that happens. But it's a great way to go through and be able to change a beer really quick. when hanging out with friends. Cleanup is not going to be bad because it's got the hops in there. You know what? Let's bust it open. Let's see how much of the hops broke down here, because I'm curious, you're curious, why not? So I'm gonna stick this back up here. It's great having a shelf right above your kegerator. So let's dump it out and see what it looks like. So it's still pretty clear. You can see the hops were starting to break apart. So the idea that the Mac Daddy is keeping all that in there. You can see on the inside of the filter, you can see the hops material right along the sides. So that's great. So you saw that I put in a little bit more than half. So looking through, you can see, there's some nice hops matter on there. So the pellets started to break down, but the bouncer was doing exactly what it was supposed to be doing. Yeah, these are kind of like spongy messes on the outside, but the hops themselves, for the Columbia hops, I had never used that before. It was a great choice to put in there. So I would definitely recommend trying some of the Columbia hops from Tenacious Badger, tossing it into a citrusy pale ale or IPA. Use the blue screen that comes in the Mac Daddy Hack Pack. The red screen, you'll want to go through and use it for filtering your beer. That's a really cool thing, is it comes with both in there. It's got the different size connectors for your different tubings and everything. It's got the reversible cup holders, or insulators, koozies. Yeah, that's what they're called. So definitely have some fun. What I would recommend doing, thinking about how much it changed from these 3 beers across, is I would probably get 2 large pitchers for a party. I'd do one straight out, and then I'd start to randall using the Mac Daddy and some of the Tenacious Badger hops, and I'd put out another pitcher of it, and then have people try the 2. Don't tell them which one is which, and so then that way you can get a honest opinion from people as far as what they think of it, and it can be a neat way for you to have multiple variations of your beer. I plan on trying using the Mac Daddy with that mesh screen to randall in some other things. I know that they've suggested fruit rinds or coffee. I may try and do with like a chocolate stout, maybe do some malt balls, I don't know, something crazy. But also know that there's some other Mac Daddy hacks on the way that I'm personally trying, that that they aren't going to sell in the Mac Daddy Hack Pack, but it's going to be using this nice little jumper that will be coming soon. So watch for that, and we'll be getting some more going here. So thanks to the guys at Bouncer for sending along the Mac Daddy Hack Pack for me to check out. Thanks to Tenacious Badger Hops for some really tasty Columbia hops that I've never tried before. And I've got a couple other types that I can use in the future to try and throw through. That package is only halfway through, not even, and seeing the utilization, I know that I can go through and randall a lot more beer. So I'm really looking forward to that. And with that, this is Jerry at Adventures in Homebrewing.Beer, and there's a bunch of beer that's been changed right across the board. I hope this was something helpful for you, and make sure to if you talk with the guys at Bouncer, tell them you saw it here. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.